What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on Juniper Rising. And today I'm going to be talking about Destiny 2 and Shadowkeep, and just having more of a long-form discussion on whether or not you should play Destiny 2 again. Should you give this game another chance, because it goes free to play on Tuesday, 48 hours from the recording of this video. Destiny is going to be going free to play, and then if you want some of that extra content, you can obviously buy Shadowkeep to sort of propel you into the next year of content. So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit today as I take a sip of water. So if oh my god if you haven't played Destiny 2, or if you haven't played it in a while, I'm just saying right now, I think that come Tuesday we're going to be seeing a renaissance. Bungie is finally in a position where they can make decisions on their own. Not saying that Bungie had 0% not the fault at all for the state that Destiny and Destiny 2 and all the content that's been controversial has. I'm not saying that Bungie hasn't been responsible for any of the disappointment over the last 5 years, but I think Activision and Activision's monetization, their sort of strategy and things like that on monetizing content, making money and things like that, I think that when it comes to sort of the season pass that would come year one of Destiny 1 and 2, that was always lackluster. Some of the rushed content that we're saying, the fact that the game originally wasn't a free-to-play, even though I'm 90% sure that Bungie, when they first conceptualized the idea of Destiny, they're like, this is probably going to be a free-to-play game. Because that's kind of what the game has always felt like to some extent. It's just a lot of content, a lot of customization, but then there's some microtransactions, some things in there, not a super fleshed out story. The fact that it's basically, let's face it, it's basically you have to pay every year to get the most up-to-date content. Like, it was almost a subscription, you know. And if that's how Bungie wants to move things forward, I am fine with that. I applaud that, because they're finally doing what they envisioned to do, is the fact that, hey, it's gonna be $35 to be able to basically stay current with everything a year. And if you want to be free to play, you can be free to play. You get there's plenty of things for you to do in the free to play expansion. You can get up to the same light that everyone else is at. I'm assuming you can get the same armor and weapons, even though it might not be as easy. There's probably not some exotics that you'll be able to have access to, because there's exotic quests that are part of the expansion, yada yada yada, whatever. But the fact that they're not splitting the player base, which every time they release a new expansion, just chips a little bit more away of people who they're just like, no, I'm not going to buy Forsaken. I'm not going to buy Shadowkeep. I just can't do it this year because I'm not playing Destiny as much, or the game, I'm just a little burnt out on the game, or I'm playing other games, I want to save up for other games. They're not splitting the player base, which means that, the game already feels very well populated, even though we are in the era of you have to pay. I did the math once, and I realized how much money I've spent on Destiny, and it was like, between switching from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, so paying for the game twice, that's $60 a piece. So that's $120 right there, and you've got the $30 for the first year of expansion, that's $150, $30 for Taken King, that's $180, and then another $30 for, it was well over $200 for me to experience all that Destiny 1 had to offer. That is a very expensive game. You are well into, this game better be the best game ever. But it's not. I can admit that. I can admit that Destiny has its flaws. I can admit that Destiny is not the perfect game. But for me, it served as a social platform for my friends to meet new people. I've met some incredible people, because this community is so amazing, and I owe it to Bungie, and I owe it to this community to stay up to date, because I love it so much. I love my YouTube channel so much, and the fact that Destiny's been such a big part of my rise. I call it a rise, but my not becoming, my somewhat large viewer base on YouTube. I have Destiny to thank for a lot of that. And so I owe it to my viewers. I owe it to my friends on Xbox Live, on Steam. I owe it to, you know, this community that I've loved for so long. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's been a crazy 5 years. I never thought this game would have the effect on me as it did. I've met some incredible people, like I've said again, and that's coming from someone who's relatively insignificant to the community. And you know, it's just unfortunate because there's so many people out there that they think that this game is dead, and it's not dead. There's so many people playing Destiny yet, and it's kind of, in my opinion, it's unfair to the game because Bungie's done some incredible work here, and you can tell they've put a lot of hours into getting this game to the point that it is. And to have some people just write it off as dead because, yeah, the first game was released in a state that was not that great, and I am still thankful that I kept on playing through the first game, because, man, I really didn't have to. Like, I was kind of disappointed too when the first game came out, but like there's still something there, and I saw potential for something, and so I reluctantly bought the first DLC. And by the time Taken King rolled out, the game was fleshed out properly, and it became a joy to play. And still to this day, Destiny 2 has had its problems, but the game is far more polished than when it came out in 2014. So, is now the time to get into Destiny 2? And I say yes, this is the best time to get into Destiny since Destiny 1 launched back in September 2014, because it's going free to play. Shadowkeep is coming. Bungie has removed itself from Activision. Shadowkeep is got to be it. This is Bungie's vision and new light to a certain extent. I really believe that Bungie wanted this game to be free to play, guys. Like, I think that was their original vision, but once Activision started publishing for them, they're like, no, you can easily charge $60 for this on your name alone. Are you kidding me? Bungie, they haven't made a game since Halo. Like, we can charge $60 for this game, and that's the cynical side of me saying, yeah, it's probably how it went down. Like, that's definitely Activision saying, hey, you know what, this doesn't have to be free. We can charge $60 plus microtransactions, plus get $30 from them a year for the season pass. Like cha-ching, you know, and it's worked. Incredibly, it's worked. This game has fostered a huge community, but you can tell Bungie just wants this world to be experienced, because although Destiny's storytelling, I've said this for years, Destiny has a great story, just not very good presentation, and I think that that's going to finally be revealed to more and more people once they start delving into some of the lore that this game has. It's vast, it's incredible, it's exciting, because there are some, if you actually read the Grimoire, and you look at YouTube channels like My Name is Bife, who does some incredibly well-produced lore videos describing sort of the story behind Destiny, the bigger story behind everything, behind some of the characters, some of the extra stories that are canon. Like, there is an incredible story behind the base game, and I think Bungie's had a very difficult time sort of expressing their vision for this world, but there is a world there, and the artists behind this game have done such a good job bringing these worlds to life. The planets, the art design, the graphics, they've been so good for so long. I think that's what frustrates so many people, is because you can tell there is a tangible story, there is something way bigger going on below the surface, but Bungie's just been seemingly reluctant to reveal it all to us, and they've sort of been just kind of like chipping little bits and pieces off the block, but we haven't quite gotten like what's really going on here. Like, we quite haven't had that moment yet, and I think that moment's about to be dropped right here. Shadowkeep, it's a redo, it's a reset, we're fighting old enemies, it's going to be nostalgic, we're going back to an old planet. Well, the moon's technically not a planet, but an old location, but it's going to be redesigned this time. It's going to look completely different because of everything that's happening on the moon right now in canon. Needless to say, I'm really excited. And I think after Forsaken being as good as it was, like, Forsaken was sort of the catalyst to coming to this point where the game's in a really good state, but now it's time for Bungie to almost reset. Free to play, that's huge for people. Because now, instead of, even though Destiny 2, the base game, I saw it at GameStop for $9, guys. $9 for Xbox One. That's not with any DLC, but it's still $40 to get some of the DLC. Like, even though it's that cheap, people still are going to be resistant to it because Destiny kind of leaves a sour taste in many gamers' mouths, even to this day. Excuse me. That now the game has gone free to play, it can be downloaded, it can be enjoyed again. I know several people who are like, you know what, I wasn't going to buy into Shadowkeep, but now I'm going to play New Light. I'm going to download on PC because I haven't been able to do that before, and I'm going to, you know, play New Light a little bit. And then, you know what, these people are probably going to end up buying Shadowkeep or buying some of the seasons that are coming down later next year because they're having just a really good time in the game. And this community is just going to be enriched even further. And so at this moment, I'm staring at my desktop. I have everything preloaded, and Tuesday I can't wait to wake up early. My classes don't start till 9:30, and just experience this game a little bit. It's going to be exciting. And yeah, that's why this is sort of my PSA to get ready, because I think it's time for Destiny 2 to ascend and become one of the most played games of all time. Because take it from me, as someone who's been a part of this community since day one. I had the first Destiny pre-ordered, bought it, played it day one. I've been through this entire roller coaster of this game, but it's my favorite franchise since the Halo series, and I put more hours into this franchise than the Halo series. Like, I'm excited for this game to have its renaissance, and I hope you are too. So if you're not ready to play Destiny 2 on Tuesday, get ready to play First Light. It's going free to play. Download it. I implore you to, because it's a great game and it's about to get even better. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I haven't been posting a whole lot lately, but I figured it was too late for me to post a video talking about Shadowkeep and the new features and stuff, because we already know what's coming. But instead I wanted to just, you know, right before the everything season or year 6 starts, I guess, because there's so many new things that are coming to us on Tuesday. I finally get to complete my transition to PC. I've been practicing on my Battle.net version of Destiny 2 on PC for a little bit. I'm getting better. I'm still not as good as I was on Xbox, obviously, because I'm not quite used to the mouse and keyboard yet, but we're getting there. So hopefully you guys are ready to see some ultra smooth gameplay of that on this channel. And yeah, go pre-download Destiny 2. This is your PSA. Go do it. It's going to be awesome. Alright, hopefully I see you guys on the battlefield come Tuesday. And until next time, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe down below if you're new. And until next time, again, this is Juniper, signing out.